My family knows that I am a huge multitasker. Today, I'm offering you two movements that'll allow you to work on two things. One is an inversion, so it gives you a bit of an opportunity to kind of recirculate the fluids in the body. And two, it allows you to get some hip rotation. I don't really have a name for this pose, but it is for hip rotation and an inversion. And so you can be doing two things at once. The good news is you get to lie down and do it. You need a wall, and then I recommend having at least one or two blankets near you, maybe one behind your head and maybe one underneath your low back or your hips. So coming to your wall, and we're going to start with our legs up the wall. This is a whole pose in and of itself. If you would like to get a gentle inversion, meaning you don't have to do a handstand or a headstand, this is a great go-to. So usually I bring one hip up alongside the wall, and then as I lower my upper body down, my legs come up and swing over. Then I bring that blanket. I always like to have something underneath my head. You may need something under your hips. Your backside does not have to be flush up against the wall. You should be comfortable. And then with straight legs, but with some space between them, start to turn your feet in and out. Here's our hip rotation. Come to stillness, separate your feet a little further, and do that again. And instead of really thinking about your feet, think about your thigh bone, your femur bone, and think about it rotating in the hip socket. Sometimes keeping our intention or visualizing what the intention is can actually enhance the movements that we take. So pause once again. If it's available, separate your legs a little bit more. This is allowing us to get into other nooks and crannies that otherwise would be missed if we kept our legs just in one position. And a shout out to one of my teachers, Bree Johnson, who taught me this movement. Stillness. And then this is probably the max I can go here. So actually we've added a third movement here. We've added a straddle. So now it's an opportunity to get a nice stretch in the inner groin. And then see what it's like to turn, get some hip rotation. And then if you want to hang out here in a straddle, if you're enjoying that, you can. Or you could slide your feet back up. More rotation, pause, closer together again. Stillness, and then one more time. And you can, of course, stop any number of times along the way. And then you could be finished right here if you want to. You could hang out here in legs up the wall and rest. If you're ready to come out of the position, I would bend into the knees, lower onto your side. I always like to pause after being on my back for a while, say 3 or 4 or 5 breaths. And then slowly rising up to a seat. So you can accomplish a lot in taking those movements. I hope you enjoy them, and I encourage you to reach out to me and let me know if I can help you further.